I'm with Bob Shenk, N2OO. You've just come back from Amsterdam Island, a very successful de-expedition in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Tell us a little bit from a statistical perspective what you achieved in those 20 days on the island.
Well, we made 170,000 contacts plus. Uh, After facing some difficult challenges in scheduling, we settled into a routine where we either had a 12 or a 24-hour shift at either site. The challenges had to do with not being able to move from one site up to our base at night, either site actually. So we had to camp out at each site overnight. But I will say that once we got going, we were doing probably 10,000 plus or minus contacts a day from the total of 8 stations, being manned as much as we could possibly physically do.
How many uniques were in that?
I believe it was about 37,000. We'll have a better chance when we get back home to really give a good look at the log to see how we did.
Did you calculate how many kilowatts traveled the planet during that time?
There was a lot of power dim, I'm sure, in different parts of the world while they were trying to get us. I'll tell you, it was an awesome experience to hear pile-ups that thick and that wide. It was just incredible, especially the first few days.
How many bands were you operational on?
We were on 160 through 10. The regular bands and the work bands. Phone, CW, and RTTY. We limited our bands for RTTY just to help us put more time on the phone and CW band operation, because we could tell the pileups are still very, very heavy, and the demand was still very strong for phone and CW operation. So we tried to limit our RTTY operation to a degree, but we still made. I forgot how many we made, but I think it was 7,000 RTTY contacts, which was pretty amazing considering.
Now, there's 14 of you in the team, plus the 6 people on the Braveheart and the 20 people that are stationed on Amsterdam Island. You set up how many antennas in the first 2 days?
We set up, in the first 2 days, we set up 10 yagis, 5 at each site, 3 verticals at each site, 4 at one site, 3 at the other. 160, 80, 40, and 30 at Antonelli, and at Mataf we had 80, 40, and 30 verticals. So a total of 8 at one, 9 at the other.
And then, of course, there was a 4 square and some beverage antennas.
Yeah, No Deer was in charge of all that, and God bless him. He put an awful lot of effort into putting out the receive antennas up at Antonelli, and also one down at Mataf. Phenomenal operation. I did get a chance to operate the 160 station one night, overnight at Antonelli, and it was quite an experience. I didn't have the best night of everybody because of propagation and so forth, but I had a good night and worked into the East Coast US and Europe and all around.
And we'll get to see some of those experiences when Nadia's photos hit the net.
Yeah, there were thousands of photos taken, and it's going to take some time to weed through them and pick out the best, but Nadir really did a wonderful job with his photographic skills were just incredible. He did a wonderful job. All of us took a lot of pictures. I think that there might be something like 10,000 or so that we took as a team. So you never know what may show up or where, but there's going, and we have a lot of video too that we took while we were there. So it'll be a very interesting show. I know Bob Alphin is working on a video presentation, and he has a lot of video to work with.
And of course, now the QSLing begins.
Oh yeah, that's right. I happen to know the QSL manager.
You sleep with him?
Yes, I do. It's the only guy I sleep with.
Let me just introduce you to the QSL manager. I'm with Bob Shenk, N2OO.
This is Bob, N2OO. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get going when I get home. We'll start opening the mail and designing the QSL card and working with Ralph and Bob and No Deer to come up with a very nice design for the QSL. It should be a very beautiful fold-out card of some sort. And we're looking forward to getting that done. And then my QSL team will start working on pre-processing, which means that they'll be able to start handling the online QSL requests and getting the labels printed in advance so that when the cards are printed, we'll be able to start doing that process, which is another mammoth job. But I couldn't do it without my team at the South Jersey DX Association. We have about a dozen people that do a number of different jobs that are part of the whole operation. And without them, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do this alone. It would be just too much.
Now, you're, of course, going to reply to paper QSL, but what about electronic QSL? What are you supporting for this the expedition?
We will be doing, obviously, paper QSLs. We'll be doing the online QSL request service. We do Bureau online QSL request service for those who desire that option, and also paper Bureau. Electronically, after 6 months after we return from the expedition, we will do a full LoTW upload. We're still working on the possibility of uploading some donors as a way to thank them for their help, uploading some of their contacts early. We're still working on that, the details of that, and when it happens, everybody will know. So please don't email me.
What, you're trying to tell me that you get a few emails asking you questions?
You want to see them? They're on my iPad right now, my iPod right now. iPod. What is this thing on my iPhone? I'm not into the electronic world here today. Yeah, I've already got dozens and dozens of inquiries. I'm not in the log. I lost my log. I could give you a whole list. I ask everybody to hold off on asking anything right now because I'm not going to be able to help you. It's just too soon. But we'll try to get everything sorted out in the end, and I'm always trying to help people get their confirmation if it was legitimate. They just have to provide log data, and the log data has to reasonably match the log. That's my rule, and you gotta keep a log. It's the amateur's responsibility to keep the log on his end just as much as it is for us to keep the log on our end. And then they got to match.
Yes, for those people wondering, time zones are important.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm very reasonable. If I can see that there is a logical reason for the time to be wrong or something, that's fine. But my rule is simple, and just it has to be legitimate, and you have to be in the log. It's as simple as that. If you're not there, it's not my fault. Well, maybe on this trip it is. I don't know, because I was one of the operators. I made a few contacts.
Oh, you made a couple of contacts. Well, Bob Shenk, N2OO, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute delight to meet your team.
Likewise to everybody. The VK6s were super. You guys rocked. You did a great job. Without the support of the VK6s that we worked with, we would not have been able to do as well as we did.